There are many things in this world that can bring joy. For some, it may be music. For others, it may be food, cartoons, manga, etc. But for me, it's reading webtoons. Now, what is a webtoon, you might ask? Well, does anyone here like reading comics or manga or anything of the sort? I see some hands right there. Well, if you do, I'm sure you'll love webtoons. Webtoon is an online platform where you can read digital comics made by creators from all around the world. Anyone can make a webtoon, as long as you're over 13, of course, which gives readers an unlimited amount of stories to choose from. Some webtoons, which are licensed and have become originals, as they call it, have the option to play music while you're reading. This makes reading even more enjoyable and fun to read. I have been reading webtoons for well over 5 years now, and ever since then, it has made a huge impact on my life, and it has given me so much joy. Reading webtoons give me a lot of joy because they give me the inspiration to draw, they help me relieve stress, and they're also a good way of passing the time when you're bored or have nothing to do. Reading webtoons gives me the inspiration to draw, and by doing so, it gives me a lot of joy. I wasn't always a fan of art, nor was I good at it, but after being exposed to various art styles, I began to take an interest in art. The very first webtoon I read, Siren's Lament, sparked my passion for drawing. It tells the story of Lyra, an ordinary teenage girl who gets entangled in Poseidon's curse and she becomes a siren, which is like a mermaid. The captivating art style and the breathtaking music and the art inspired me to create my own art. I began doing digital art, and although it looked really ugly at first, the more I read webtoons, the more I started to get inspired to draw more, and I started to improve. Webtoon not only gives me a boost of inspiration to draw, but it also helps me relieve stress. One of the ways I cope with stress is reading webtoons. There are so many comedic webtoons out there, and some of them are so funny that I end up laughing incessantly. One of these is Return of the Manhua Sect. And Return of the Manhua Sect is a story about a boy who defeats a demon, but he ends up dying. And then 100 years later, he is given a second chance at life, and he embarks on a journey to restore the Manhua Sect to its former glory. This webtoon features many comedic scenes, but what makes this webtoon so enjoyable to read are the exaggerated facial expressions that the main character makes. The facial expressions are so hilarious that I end up forgetting about all the stress and all the anxiety that I have currently in life, like exams or tests or anything else that makes me stressed. And these webtoons are a good way to relieve stress, and it is also a good way to pass the time. Reading webtoons gives me joy because it makes time go by faster. And during COVID, when I was cooped up in my room with nothing to do, webtoons were my solace. I would reread webtoons, and it would make time seem as if it's flying by. One of my all-time favorite webtoons is Purple Hyacinth. And Purple Hyacinth is a story about a police officer, and she can detect lies, which is really cool, by the way. She teams up with an assassin, and they work together to defeat the Phantom Scythe, which is an evil organization, that is trying to wreak havoc on our Dallas city. Due to its compelling storyline and its breathtaking music, I became a fan of Purple Hyacinth. I would reread the episodes very often, and in doing so, it would help kill time, and it would help pass the time faster, and it would help me get through my bad times quicker. Overall, webtoon has given me a lot of inspiration to draw. It helps me relieve stress, and it's also a good way to pass the time. At some point in my life, I even considered creating my own webtoon, and although it did not go well, it shows just how much webtoon has inspired me. Also, every time I read webtoons, I seem to forget about all of life's problems. It's like a way to escape from reality's troubles. Although reading webtoons makes time go by really fast, it leaves me with many happy memories. So now that you know all about webtoons and how it gives me joy, will you read webtoons?